Welcome everybody to the final day of the European Weightlifting Championships, Moscow, our host for the past 9 days. And today, it's Super Sunday, the Men's Super Heavyweight Championship of Europe. That comes later. But today, right here in this fantastic gymnastics palace, the Arena Vina Usmanova Palace, it's the women who, early in the afternoon now, occupy central stage in the women's over 87 kilo category. Well, 9 contenders for the championship, and those women include Emily Campbell for Great Britain, who we'll be keeping a special eye on. But most importantly, to say that the woman who has dominated super heavyweight women's lifting, Tatiana Kasharina of Russia, 5 times a European champion, no longer involved in the sport, presently suspended for violations which are being investigated at the moment. And so there definitely will be a new name on the Roll of Honor today. I'm David Goldstrom, together with Michaela Breeze. Thank you so much for being with us throughout the past days. And we look forward to your company throughout today on these 2 final competitions. 2 Turks in the competition. Maliki Gunal, who was 5th a couple of years ago. Also in the lineup, Anastasia Lysenko, 3 times runner-up in the Europeans in 2015, 2017 and 2019. Emily Campbell, Commonwealth Games champion and bronze medalist of a couple of seasons ago. Martina Krasnova of Slovakia, former hammer thrower. Kristina Borodina of the Ukraine, who still head the overall medal table, Ukraine, with 10 gold medals. And Anna van Bellingen for Belgium, 27 years of age, moving up from 81 kilos most recently, but has lifted at 87 and also 90 kilos. So this was the situation in the B group that actually happened yesterday. It was a fight between 2 Hungarians, wasn't it, Michaela?
Yes, it was, and Bianca Badso in picture right now. Didn't have the best of snatches. Came out with 83 on her opener, which is the lift we're about to see. Successful with this one, put her in the lead after the snatch. Went on to attempt 87, twice failed on both occasions, so had to be content with this 83. The clean and jerk for her was slightly better. 2 out of 3 successful lifts. She went 109 on her opening lift. And then this one, the 113. Failed at 115. But after the B group, she finds herself with a total of 196 kilos, and we are expecting that to be surpassed pretty early on. Worth noting as well that these weights are modest. Remember yesterday's competition, the women's 87 kilo category, I think it was all but 1 in the A group snatched over 100 kilos. I think we're going to be hard pushed to get that kind of result from this A group, but very much looking forward to seeing how everyone gets on, and in particular Emily Campbell from Great Britain.
So almost set to go. High hopes for Emily Campbell, the British The flag's being flown brilliantly by Sarah Davis first of all, and then by Emily Muscat, formerly Emily Godley. But these are the women who we're going to focus on now. You can see Emily Campbell with 114 kilos. That is the heaviest opening proposed weight. That may well change. And we're very confident that Sarah Davis has qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. As you see the standards now, as I mentioned a few moments ago, Tatiana Kasharina excluded from competition at the moment as a result of a suspension last December. And the Russian, who's lifted massive weights, 155, 193, 348 in her time, out of the competition and under a big cloud.
David, surely those standards should be wiped. The whole purpose in changing the categories in the first place was to try and clean up the sport, and you've now got a doped lifter, a double doping offence, still on that list. Surely that should be wiped.
Well, the problem about that is that those records were created in 2018, 2019, when the new standards were created, and because she's under suspension and the adjudication of that suspension is not completed at the moment, they have to be there. But I understand your discomfort. But let's get on with the present, and this is the last season's champion of Belarus. First time on an international stage and opening up there on a successful 85 kilos. She's got a personal best of 90. Must be something of a baptism of fire for her, Michaela.
It swings the bar around her knees. Big swing as she explodes through the second phase of the lift, hence the step forwards. Not the smoothest we've seen.
Kristina Borodina for the Ukraine also has requested 85 kilos. This young woman, third in the European Juniors 2 seasons ago, or 2 years ago, I should say, at 81 kilos. Well, the strength is there, no question, but a lost life early on.
Very short in the extension as she gets to mid-thigh. Leaves the bar out in front. I think there was a flicker of the elbow as well before she dropped it. It's a side angle really that gives us the most feedback from a technical point of view. We want to see the shoulders staying above the bar as long as possible. Coach clearly not happy.
Indeed. As I mentioned, the men's super heavyweight a little later on, 2 o'clock for all of you watching with us from Great Britain. And that really will be a world-class affair, and who knows, with the Olympic world and European champion, we might be seeing a world record attempt in that. And it will be truly the world-class championship of these Europeans. Now, Borodina has to come out again. 85 kilos is her personal best, but that was, of course, at a lighter weight category. Not particularly experienced. She's only 21. There are quite a lot of youngsters in this particular competition. And that's so much better. Well done.
There was definitely a little more spark about that as she came off the floor. More determination, just a much more positive lift in general. It's not just about coasting through the movements, about doing it with intent. And the whole body language here was far more positive. Sets the start position, still short on the extension. We're looking for full extension at knee and hip. But she did enough to generate enough height to get under. That will do, thank you very much.
We've had some great women's super heavyweights over the years, haven't we, Mikhailo? I was just reflecting earlier this morning on 1 or 2 of them. I went back to Carolina Lundahl, remember her, 1994, from Finland.
That's right, kind of at the time I started in the sport, so yes, I do remember her, but very vaguely.
And the best women's super heavyweight I've ever seen, the Olympic champion in Sydney, and won the World Championship in 2003, Ding Meiyun of China. One of the most, well, I think the most athletic super heavyweight female I've ever seen. She was terrific. Yan Miran. of
You remember
Korea.
Agata Robel as well, Poland?
Yeah, Yamiran, who won the title 4 times. Sarah Robles, more recently for the United States. So Borodina now, 3 kilo increase. This again, of course, will be a new personal best. Yeah, good for her.
Really happy to see a great recovery. Hopefully the coach is a little more content. After missing that 85 on her opener, 2 successful lifts have put her firmly back in the competition. I'm not sure this is going to be anywhere near challenging for anything, but more a personal mark than anything. Very positive, attacks really well, and that camera angle is absolutely awesome.
Номер 5 Катерина Андрейковец, Беларусь. Вторая попытка.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Michaela. She's an outsider, but with her own particular targets. And the same applies to this woman, Katerina Andreykovets of Belarus. As I said, this is her first time on an international stage, having won the national title last season. And she's 1 kilo below her previous best, according to the stats that we were given earlier this morning from the coaches. Well, that's 2 out of 2.
In fact, just a kilo below her best. It really was fairly comfortable from where we're sat. It looked effortless. I think there's another couple of kilos there for sure. She's going to be going for a new personal target. Strong back, swings it off the floor though. I don't like that. And it's that swinging around the knees which then causes the next swing on the bar. You want that bar to be traveling as close to the body as you push from the floor. The knees and shins should come backwards. The bar should follow the same line.
Yeah, she's the sort of lifter where we're looking for her to achieve 3 out of 3, 6 out of 6. And now to the first of the 2 Turkish candidates. This is Tukce Boyanugri, 22 years of age. Moving up from the 87 kilo, though she was a very, very light 87 kilo lifter, 83, 84 kilos. But she had previously lifted in 90 kilo competitions, 4th 2 years ago in the European under-23s. Should have made progress. This is 90 kilos. This is her opener. Yeah, as I said, she's amongst the lightest in the entire class, weighed in at 87, 86, so just over 87 kilos.
Yeah, lifts her backside as she comes off the floor. That's going to send the weight onto her toes, hence the step forwards at the end. If you see a mistake later in the lift, it's normally caught a lot earlier.
Anna van Bellingen for Belgium, opening at 90. Now she's fluctuated through the weight categories. At 27, one of the most experienced on the stage this final day of the championships.
You'd have to make the assumption that warm-up has gone fairly well. She's increased her opener from 85 to 90. Never fully committed to that lift. She'll be all right on the second, I'm sure. That's the weight cut that she needs. The coaches will have a word or two. Tom, very, very experienced in picture now. It looks like he's put the weight up, has he?
She was a European silver medalist in the 81 kilo category 2 years ago in Batumi and Georgia. She's been 4th in European championships at the 90 kilo category on a couple of occasions as well. Of course, a little good milestone for the Belgians. A medal from Nina Sterks in the women's 55 kilos, one of 20 countries who've collected medals already at these championships. That's a very, very healthy return. One which I'm sure Dr. Hasan Akus, the newly elected president of the European Weightlifting Federation, will be really pleased about. A mixture of not only Eastern European medals, but a good showing by the Western European nations as well. Van Bellingen, second attempt, 90 kilos. Well, you were absolutely right, Michaela. You went to the Tokyo test event last year, lifted 99 kilos, so should be, in a way, kicking herself at that first failure.
That's disappointing when you miss your opener. You prepare to come out and miss your first lift is just gutting, but she corrected well. That was far more commitment from Van Bellingen on her second attempt.
So looking for 3 out of 3, 91 kilos. So for this is by a kilo, a new personal best attempt for this Belarusian lifter. Well, I'm sure that she's got the strength to lift that.
More of a psychological issue than a physical one. Remember, this sport isn't just about how strong you are. You've got to believe you're capable of the weight. There was way too much hesitation, dropping underneath the bar. Totally different lift to the second attempt we saw.
So, Tukshe, or in fact, Anna Van Bellingen may be well coming out for 94 kilos because one or two weight adjustments going. Boyneugri of Turkey going up to 95 kilos. By the way, Anastasia Lysenko, the runner-up 2 years ago, Melike Gunal, and also Emily Campbell, the only three opening up over 100 kilos. So Anna Van Bellingen out in double quick time for 94 kilos. Her last major competition, Michaela, was the World Championships in 2019 in Pattaya in Thailand. She didn't total then.
This is a very good recovery. First failure, second and third attempt successful. Could do with a bit more spark through the middle of the lift. But it's more relief than anything to know that she's got that on the board. Still way down on best, but that'll do.
First appearance of Arpin Dalalyan, representing Armenia in this over 87 kilo competition. Weighed in at 110.44 kilos, the second heaviest in the class today. Fourth 2 years ago in both the Worlds and Europeans, and that's not an auspicious start.
The shake of the head, there's a disappointment there, clearly. Only 3 attempts allowed in the snatch, not on every weight. It's 3 attempts in total. So these lifters are coming out fairly heavy in relation to what their best lifts are. You can see there, catching the bar high, riding it in. You've got to be more confident dropping at speed to that bottom receiving position.
Yeah, she's capable of 105 kilos, which she showed 2 years ago. Now, Tukshe for Turkey. 90 kilos, 5 kilo increase here. Again, relatively light in the class, weighed in at 87, 86. Bronze medal in the European Juniors in 2018 when she was lifting in the 90 kilo category. So a lifter with potential.
Подъем защита.
Well, she certainly hasn't reached her limit yet.
No, but she's risking positions though. If we get the side replay, you'll see the bum lifts quite high as she comes off the floor. That sends momentum onto the toes, and that can cause inconsistency. So far, so good. But she risks losing the bar in the overhead position. That was a good one. She'll take that.
So, Dalalyan. Just an indication of her elbows there, but the first attempt was poor. Really needs to pick up the action now. Capable of 105.
Oh dear.
Well, you talked about physical strength, you talked about mental strength, but neither are happening for her at the moment. And now at that very uncomfortable situation of maybe missing out on a total.
That's right, one attempt left. I'm sure she will be spoken to quite severely by the coaches right now and G'd up a little bit, even teammate watching. But I think we've also got an issue there with quad strain. She's got her left quad quite heavily bandaged. The only time I ever did that as a lifter was when I had a quad or an IT band strain. So there's something that's not quite right. She's got her shoulders strapped as well. So clearly a few niggles coming into this competition, but here we see the coach saying what he thinks.
Yeah, she's going to follow herself because everybody else wants a greater weight. No change to Emily Campbell, still planning 114. Anastasia Lysenko still on 110. And Melika Gunel for Turkey, 105. Martina Hraznova, very interesting to see her for Slovakia, 38 years of age, a former hammer thrower, and as good as a bronze medalist in the World Championships, but a bit more about her because she's got a cloud over her past. But meanwhile, let's hope this is a sunnier ending for Arpine Dalalyan. Third and final attempt. Makes it, she stays alive and has the possibility of a total. Misses, and the compensation will have to come in the clean and jerk. So the European junior champion of 2 years ago, when she snatched 100, clean and jerked 134 for 234 under real pressure. Sigh of relief.
A sigh of relief, but very despondent body language. You can see she's limping as she stood with the snatch in the overhead position. She favoured her right leg as well, so clearly in discomfort. But at this time, at this moment, get the painkillers down. You let adrenaline take over. Get yourself fixed up afterwards. Much, much better conviction to the lift. The timing was better, and she was much faster to the receiving position.
So she gets her 95 kilos, goes into second place because it is only second because Tukce of Turkey, she went there before her and she leads at the early stage of this competition. And now Martina Hraznova. Well, as I said, I did a bit of digging here, and bronze medal in the 2009 World Athletics Championships, a hammer thrower. But during her period as an athlete, a disqualification period as well.
Неудачный подъем.
A very disappointing start to her campaign. Only the feet allowed to touch the platform. And you can see as a very tall lifter as well. You don't want the knee collapsing like that. It's going to put strain on the hip. Just everything drifted forwards off the platform. It pulls you onto your toes as soon as you come off. It's hard to correct from that position.
Once again, a lifter finding herself with a weight that nobody else wants. And because 99 kilos will be her second attempt, she will effectively have to come out again.
Quite a few of the athletes in the heavier categories have come from an athletics background, as has Emily Campbell. She used to throw discus, shot and hammer. And they come into this sport then quite well conditioned and already physically strong. It's then about mastering the technical side of it. Well, a little hesitant here getting into the squat position. One or two technical issues that we saw from Hraznova. Let's hope she can correct on her second attempt.
Yeah, wasn't Zoe Smith a gymnast early in her days?
Correct.
.99 kilos, second attempt. Score on the board.
A score on the board indeed, but she doesn't look overly happy with herself. She will regret that earlier miss. She's still dwelling on it. Not perfect technically, lifts the bum as she comes off the platform, and that sends her forwards onto her toes. She compensates in the receiving position by dropping the chest and dropping the shoulders in there to get herself back underneath the bar. Disappointing as well, as you said, tarnished reputation in athletics. Anybody would think weightlifting accepts drugs cheats. Well, there's news, we're tightening up.
So the bar on 100 kilos for Tukce Boynuegli of Turkey.
Номер 2. Туче Мануэли, Турция. Третья попытка.
So 100 kilos. She, in the World Championships, managed 101 kilos. That is her personal best, so she's pretty close to that. But I have a feeling, having watched the second attempt, that she'll do well to lift this.
Needs to maintain the discipline off the floor, David, if she's going to have a chance. Cool.
Well done.
But that was a gutsy performance. Well done indeed. You can see how far she got underneath the bar. She sits pretty much with her backside just an inch off the floor. That was a gutsy lift for what I'm guessing is a new personal best. Super fast to the bottom position. Somehow managed to sit tight without crumbling. Very well done.
Sadly, you guessed wrong. It's still a very good lift. She did 101 kilos in the 87 kilo category in the 2019 World Championships. It's quite interesting about the Turk who just preceded Hraznova in picture here, because looking at her body weights, I mean, she's been consistently under 87 kilos, and she's only slightly over 87 now. So interesting that she's in this particular competition as opposed to yesterday's women's 87. Now, Hraznova, 103 kilos. Big challenge. Getting better.
I totally agree with you, David. Each lift has got better and better. The first one maybe a little nervous. Been off the competition stage, an international platform for over a year with COVID. Second attempt corrected, and this attempt, well, she really started to open up here, much more dynamic, much more positive in her approach. Still that step forwards, that's a technical problem. She's done well.
Two Turks in the competition, and the first appearance of Melike Günel at 105 kilos. As planned, Melike, 23 years of age, fifth in the Europeans 2 years ago, a junior, world and European bronze medalist so far. Got a personal best of 107 kilos in this particular discipline. Did that last year in the Islamic International Solidarity Championships. Good effort, total 242. 105 for the lead. No worries.
No worries indeed. That was a really solid opening lift. So Gunnar goes straight into the lead with that 105. Two lifters yet to join the party, including Great Britain's Emily Campbell. It looks like it could well be a fight between these three for the medals. But notice in the start position, looking down, I encourage lifters to look forward. She's changed her visual point throughout the lift. I'd encourage lifters to maintain a visual point. If you look down, that can often drop the chest and pull you forwards. She's done well.
So Anastasia Lysenko, just a word on Emily Campbell. Of course, we've mentioned her a great deal because we hope that she's going to have the best competition of her life at the Europeans. But, you know, the reality is everybody starts on zero, and Lysenko, she knows what it's like to almost be there. The runner-up in Europeans 3 times, 2015, 2017, 2019, at different weight categories. So nearly, but never the European champion. And the more experienced and successful of the 2 Ukrainians in this competition starts with 106 kilos, goes into the lead.
That's right, a little wonky as she comes off the floor. No problems in the overhead position. The difficult thing now not for Emily, but for those coaching Emily, will be the decision on what starting weight to take. At this rate, we could have all the other lifters finish before she even starts, and then you've got this battle. Does she start where she wants to, because she wants to push herself, or does she start just in gold medal position to secure the medal first? I think I would probably go along those lines. And it's very difficult when you come here knowing you're in good shape and really want to push, but the medals are the priority.
Interesting about Lysenko, though, because if you look at her recent record, she's been consistently achieving over 120 kilos in the snatch. So, you know, okay, she's reacting to the rest of the field. She's starting with what she considers to be a sensible weight, given the competitors she's up against, but 106 is well below par for her. Now, Maliki Gunil, another lifter who's been consistently lifting 105 to 107. This is 108. So that was a personal best attempt.
Oh, personal best attempt that didn't come off. Dropped the chest as she came off the platform. That lifted the bum up. Left the bar in front. Not enough today. She's got to find legs from somewhere to get a bit more height on the bar.
So just 6 attempts left, and 3 of them belong to Emily Campbell. So I guess Gunnel's going to have to come out and try 108 because Lysenko's put the bar to 110. And Campbell has been solid as a rock at 114 for her opener.
Yeah, when I spoke to her coach, Cyril Martin, prior to this competition, he was hoping for Emily to start the competition somewhere between 112 and 115. That's the kind of form that she's been in. She should come out and execute confidently on her first attempt. So we'll just have to wait and see how these 2 lifters get on as to whether she sticks to that or maybe brings it down to secure the medal first.
So Gunil has to try 108 kilos again. This would, of course, put her into first place, but it is a new personal best attempt. And the new leader. But as you alluded to earlier, Michaela, yesterday, Anastasia Hotfrid of Georgia, who didn't go on to win the 87 kilos, but she won the snatch with 111 kilos.
That's right, the weights generally in this group have been down on what we've seen in previous competitions, but we're now starting to move to the business end of proceedings.
Well, Lysenko at the moment staying conservative because she's gone to 109. She's obviously conscious, or at least her coaches will be conscious of the fact that Campbell's posted 114. So what she's trying to do here is just to regain the advantage. She will have one other attempt left, but it could well be, as you suggested, that she might lift out and then the stage will be available to Emily Campbell of Great Britain. So can't finish worse than second, and she goes into the overall lead.
That's right, David. I think she's given up on even attempting to push Emily Campbell here. She originally posted 110 as her opener, came down to 106, then took 109. All she's doing here is just putting herself back up ahead of the lifter from Turkey. It's almost like she's letting Emily go out and do her own thing, and she's fighting for the inferior medals. But interesting to see where she goes on a third attempt.
Well, she's got a strong clean and jerk, but so has Emily Campbell. But now 117 has been posted, so Lysenko's going to sit this out and let Campbell come out and take her first attempt. So why not? Perfectly sensible. And as I said, Lysenko in Rome last year in the World Cup, 124, in the World Championships last year in Pattaya, 2 years ago, 129. And Emily Campbell's gone to 115 for her opener. So that suggests to you and me, Michaela, that the Brits are happy with the warm-up.
That's right. Cyril was hoping between 112, 115 as an opener. She's coming out at the top end of that. She has hit a 120 in training.
She's hit a 119 in competition. So here she is, 26 years of age, a bronze medalist in the Commonwealth Games in Australia in, 2018, and a European medalist, a bronze in 2019. So the first attempt of her day, a day on which she hopes she'll not only succeed, but also qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. 115, the opener. Good lift. What about the quality?
Very, very good lifting, very solid lifting, although sat at the bottom, a little hesitant. Now, she's pretty much already secured her place at the Tokyo Olympics. This, for her, is about one thing only. Gold medal, two things. Gold medal and lifting well, personal best. 119 was her best coming into this. That was set pre-lockdown. She has had knee surgery about 10 months ago and has rehabbed very well. If you've watched her progress on social media, you would have seen it's been slow and steady. She's got herself back into the shape of her life just in time.
Dave Sawyer in the background, one of the three British coaches who must be having the times of their lives. The lifters, these women are doing them proud. But Lysenko now, she went 117. She's come out, Lysenko just dropped down to 116, just to take the kilo to get ahead of Emily, and then it's all down to Emily after that. So Lysenko to try and go back into gold, and does so.
Now we see Lysenko really starting to open up. Unfortunately for her, she's out of attempts. That last attempt looked the best of the three. Just wonder how much further she could have gone. Maybe she's a little down on performance for whatever reason. Could be lack of preparation coming into these championships. Who knows? Great position off the floor. Jumps back a fraction. Doesn't matter. Bars overhead.
But given her record, Michaela, the 106 opener was very, very conservative.
It was. It literally, to me, the body language, everything there said that she's not fighting for gold. Well, clearly she is. She's put herself back in contention. over to Emily.
Yeah, and Emily doing exactly the right thing, taking, first of all, just the extra kilo to get the gold medal. And then we'll hopefully see her go for a personal best to try and open up and give herself an advantage going into the second half of the competition. So 117, second attempt. Lovely. That's better than the first.
Much better from Emily, and that was absolutely the right call in terms of weight. Dave Sawyer's called 117 to get back into the lead. She is the gold medalist in this weight category. She still has one to go, but that's annoying for her because there's no way she would have taken that weight normally. She would want somewhere around the 122, 123 mark. That's her target coming into these championships, but she had to go for gold first. Brilliant lifting from Emily Campbell. Well done.
Third gold medal for Great Britain, and there may well be more to come. Stuart Martin, Andy Callard out there as well.
Stu Martin here is changing the weights, but what he's doing is waiting for the clock to restart. As soon as that clock restarts, he'll now change the weight again. What that's doing is buying more time. Every time the loaders have to come back onto the platform, change the weight, the clock has to stop. And that's just giving Emily a little bit more recovery time. What's he gone to now? He's only allowed to change it twice.
121. 121.
He's hovering by that table, though. He may well go up again. I reckon she wants more like a 122, 123 even. And they're the kind of numbers that Cyril Martin was talking about, and she's in great shape. Just needs to stay focused.
What was it? A bit of floating bone, wasn't it, that they had to deal with?
Yeah, she had trouble with her knees, giving her some jip. They went in, a tendinopathy was the history. Went in for an arthroscopy and they found a little bit of floating bone that was rupturing the tendon. So they removed that, and she's had a nice, I say smooth rehab process, but you know, rehabbing from knee surgery, as I know, is not nice. It takes time and it takes discipline. That she has demonstrated.
So this will be a competition personal best for her. They're sticking on 121. I'm not going to argue with that.
22.
122, I beg your pardon. You're absolutely right. I just blinked then and saw it had gone to 122.
I think the trouble is, David, because she was forced to do the 117 to secure gold, you don't really then want to take a massive jump to your third and final attempt. This is 5 kilos, and I think a sensible call on the weights.
This would be very good news if she can get it, because it would give her a 6 kilo advantage over Anastasia Lysenko. So it would give her flexibility when it comes to the clean and jerk. But it is a challenge. Make no mistake on this. Nothing is a gimme, and this is certainly not a gimme for Emily Campbell. For 3 out of 3, she's won the gold, but this is to really command. Excellent!
Outstanding lifting from Emily Campbell. Not only has she taken gold for Great Britain, she has smashed the competition. And yes, girl, you get in there, give us a great big smile. Great effort from the whole of Team GB. She's got more there. You're going to have to save that for Tokyo, I'm afraid, my dear. But this, 3 out of 3, new personal best, gold medal.
Yeah, if she comes up against the likes of Li Wenwen, who won the world title, who snatched 146 kilos and clean and jerked 186 and total 332, Emily will have her work cut out. But you control what you can control, and she's done that beautifully.
And they got better and better.
So confirmation, look at this. A 6 kilo advantage, 3 out of 3, but Lysenko 3 out of 3, but conservative, as we said. And then Malike Gunnel, well, she's a long way down, and there's a different fight for the bronze. So these are the proposed starting weights for the clean and jerk. Just reflecting on Emily, because you know her pretty well. I mean, they call her the jack of all sporting trades when she was a youngster. And I love one thing that she reflected on. She said, I was never really scared of failure, which is, that's a great thing to have in your pocket, isn't it? You know, I'll have a go at everything, and she certainly had a go at almost everything in sport.
That's right, David. I mean, I don't know her that well. I know her coach better, Cyril Martin. But Emily, from the correspondence we've had via Instagram, she's come from multiple sports as a youngster. Used to play basketball for Midlands. She swam for clubs. She played football for a team. Was into trampolining, and around the age of about 15 or so was involved in athletics. She threw the hammer, discus, shot put. Competed at 2 English schools. So, as you said, jack of all trades, but now she's really found something that she can focus on and is clearly excelling. As they say, you can be good at everything, but a master in nothing. Well, she wants to be outstanding at something, and she's really showing us that.
A while till we see her again, but this is the national champion of Belarus. 2 out of 3 in the first part. Now she needs to surpass 115 kilos if she's to set a new record for herself.
A modest opening lift, 107. I say modest, you know, for a clean and jerk at this kind of body weight, I'd say this is a mediocre lift. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, but you know, you would expect lifters at this body weight to be a little heavier in kilos with the weights lifted.
How do you sum up Anna van Bellingen? A little below par, a little disappointing at the moment?
She's down on her best snatch by about 5 kilos, but do you know what, David, it's very difficult to call and to make judgments at this stage because, as we know, the whole world has been on lockdown for the last 12 months. So you just don't know how preparation has gone. We know that Emily Campbell, for example, as a nominated elite athlete, has been able to train through this pandemic and has been very careful with, you know, the setup. The gyms are closed, but 1 or 2, and it is only a handful of elite athletes who have been allowed to train. You just don't know what Van Bellingen's situation is. But yeah, a little down at the moment.
Gyms open in England in the coming week. I'm looking forward to a swim.
I'm a little frustrated, to be honest. Wales have got their own rules, but they're messing us around with when things can open, and without justifying it with science. You know, there's a threat to do a march and to protest about gyms still not being able to open, and then they change the date randomly. It's just a bit strange as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, Anna van Bellingen of Belgium, 2:01 into the overall lead as far as the competition is concerned, but 1:07 for the clean and jerk. The best clean and jerk was 113, so actually she's only ranked 4th at the moment, and this is Tukşe Boynuegli for Turkey, 110 kilos. So again, this wouldn't surpass the lifter in the B group in the clean and jerk. It was a combined women's 87 and 87 B group that took place yesterday.
Omuzlardan. Bekle.
Подъем защита.
Well, it really was a comfortable opening lift, no problems whatsoever. Looks to be in a bit of discomfort, but pain right now is irrelevant. The adrenaline will take over. Technically pretty good. It's good extension, stand straight out of the clean. It's important to catch that bounce if you can. Jerk, pretty good position as well, nicely balanced.
Ukraine Borodina.
Подъем защита.
So 110 kilos. This is a woman who's moving up from the 81 kilo category.
Yeah, rips it off the floor, a little short on the extension. I think I said that on the snatching as well. That's a weakness of hers. Could do with moving the front foot a little further forwards to get the balance. Very fast and explosive.
So whilst we have a moment, another little insight. I love this. This was a quote from Emily about her early athletics career. She said, one day my sports teacher came up to me at an athletics competition and said, I've got nobody to do the discus. Can you save me and do it, Emily? So she had a quick tutorial. She was told it's basically a plate, you throw it like this. So she accepted the challenge and beat everybody by 10 meters.
Why does that not surprise me? Very strong girl.
So 111, as I said, she needs to surpass 115 for a new personal best, but this is the second stepping stone. That much harder on the clean. But strong enough overhead and correct.
Very good lifting. 2 out of 2. I just want to see her struggle. She just looks effortless. My first attempt was never effortless. I had to give it everything, but these lifts look well within a comfort zone. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure she is exerting herself well. Technically very proficient.
111 for Van Baddingen. Well, as you said, she's been over 120 kilos at her best. Yeah, she's very definitely lifting to her own plan for this championship. As I said, she has lifted at 90 kilos. She's been down at 81 kilos.
Technically, not a huge amount wrong with this lift. Moves very well. Just lacking that bit of spark. You never know, she might be rehabbing from some kind of injury as well.
Yeah, she's only over the 87 kilo limit. 87.20 was her weigh-in. So now Slovakia, Krasnova. Krasnova in 4th place at the halfway stage, 2 out of 3. 103 kilos, her best snatch, now opening up on 112. Well, in years, she's more than a decade senior to everybody else in this competition.
A more senior lifter, she's getting the riot act read to her there. Very good on the clean. See what the referee saw. It looks okay to me. I can't see any movement in the elbows. Doesn't move the front foot very far forwards. That's what's costly.
215, she's in the overall lead, but still at 112, she's not leading the clean and jerk. That is the Hungarian from the B group, Bianca Butzo. $3-kilo increase there for Borodina.
Yeah, no issues at all. 2 from 2. She looks like she's on a mission.
But none of the young women you've seen so far have got to the lifter from the B group. They will do pretty shortly.
Absolutely solid in the overhead position. Very happy with that.
It'd be very nice if we could get a shot of the likes of Lysenko and Campbell warming up backstage, wouldn't it? We've been rather short of those sort of pictures throughout the championships. Just to see how they're doing. What would you say about Campbell? I mean, when she switched to weightlifting, I mean, she She virtually got the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games within about, what, 18 months of taking up weightlifting in a serious manner?
I think there's some great results with such a short time in the sport. It really is. But when you come into the sport already athletic and already well conditioned, then you know that's when you can get results pretty quickly.
So 114, third attempt. She's not going for that personal best. So 3 out of 3.
Yeah, 3 out of 3 there. I thought that was a good lift. Let's see what the centre referee saw, see if there's anything we've missed. It was a tough clean, but there was nothing wrong with it. No breach of any rules. That looks okay to me. Wobbly maybe on the arms, wasn't so much a press out.
So another woman looking for 3 out of 3 in the clean and jerk. Up 3 kilos. This is for 208. Not going to take the overall lead away from Krasnova, though. Well, the Belarus lifter, Andrzejewicz, she went into first place in the clean and jerk with her 114 kilos. And Van Bellingen here, who got the same weight, she's gone into the silver medal in the clean and jerk. But they're not going to hang on to those medals for too long.
No, stands up with a very heavy clean after being buried at the bottom. With a jerk, you could see on the recovery she was slightly off balance. Absolutely fine. As long as you recover with your feet in line, then that will be job done. 3 out of 3. Well, let's hope she's back on the mend to achieving weights that she's done in the past.
Just to whet your appetite, Emily Campbell posted 145. It's still there for her opening clean and jerk. Anastasia Lysenko took the silver in the first half of the competition, 135. Melike Günal of Turkey, 130. And she was the bronze medalist in the first half of the competition. And Arpin Dalalyan of Armenia with that heavily strapped quad, 125 kilos. So away till we see any of those. 116 kilos on the bar.
That's a tough ask. Well done.
Well, that's a decent little sequence for her. She's got 5 out of 5. And her running total would have put her in the top 10 of yesterday's women's 87 kilo competition.
Yeah, that's right. As we said, the standard in this group is generally a little down on what we saw yesterday. But then the top weights being lifted are decent. Here we just saw that total missed time at the bottom. Foot was a little wide. She adjusted by moving the foot in, kept the bounce going to be able to stand, but so good overhead.
Krasnova, who was in the lead, she's now a kilo down. She's going from 112 to 116. 4 kilo increase for 219. Cleaning really well. Well, Mikhaila, she's just got better and better and better.
She has. It's almost like she's come into this event, as a lot of lifters have, very nervous. One, having been off the platform for so long, but also, you know, she want to get that first lift in. And for her, it looks very much like the first attempts have been very nervous lifts. Now she's in the competition, she's got a total, now she can really open up. And this was a much more convincing attempt. Moved the front foot a little further forwards than she did previously. She was good under the bar.
Borodina also going for 116, which would only put her into third place in the clean and jerk. Come on. 4 kilo personal best.
Yeah, a little wobbly in the elbows on recovery. I think she'll be okay.
And that's 5 out of 6 for 204. As an 81-kilo European junior, her total was 197. So that is progress.
That's great progress, and she worked really hard to stand with a clean. I love how short the dip is, very explosive to get it moving back upwards. In a split position, great technically, nicely underneath the bar, well done.
Ukrainians who've had overall a good championship. They won no less than 3 women's titles here. So Tukje now up to 120. So this would give her a total of 220. And yeah, as I said, if she does manage this, it would have put her in the top 10 of the 87-kilo class. Maybe she just couldn't make the weight. I know she's only slightly over the weight, but there was no Turkish lifter in last night's competition. So this for 6 out of 6. Personal best attempt, 120. Big question.
On her toes, can she stand? Come on. Oh, great effort.
Oh, a special moment in her weightlifting career.
When you talk about digging deep, that's what we're talking about. She sat in that bottom position. She kept the bar moving. She kept the muscles engaged. If you sit there and don't move, it is virtually impossible to stand with, unless you've got obviously ridiculous leg strength. She doesn't have that, so she had to keep the bar moving, hence the bounce. When she was ready, she went for it, worked hard to stand, and she's so good in the overhead position. The adjustment of the hands was absolutely necessary because she crumpled at the bottom of the clean. So good overhead. Fantastic effort, gutsy lifting all the way.
Yeah, that's a real pleasure to end up with personal bests in that way, and she's gone back into the lead by a kilo. So here comes Martina Krasnova, Slovakia. She's going for the extra 4 kilos to take her to 223. Once again to regain the lead. Worked hard. One hiccup right at the beginning, Michaela, in the snatch. But other than that...
Oh, no, I think that's a failed lift. Yeah, it was a very slow lockout with the left arm. And the referees have deemed that to be a press out.
Let's have a look at that from the front.
So
we're looking at the left arm.
Her left, our right. It doesn't go convincingly to a very slow lockout. They've given that as a press out.
Bit unlucky.
No, I would have called it as a no lift. I saw it and I was like, oh, it's going to be close whether she gets that or not.
Nonetheless, she's got 4 out of 6, 219 kilos. But it is the Turk who leads the way, the 22-year-old Tukje, with 220 kilos. And now this woman who was and is heavily strapped. Only one good attempt in the first part of the competition, down in 6th place, only bringing forward 95 kilos. Well, she posted, what was it, 125. She's actually collected 126. She's gone straight into the lead with 221.
She's not comfortable. It's good left, there's no denying that. She's not comfortable.
Yeah, the height of her powers, she can clean and jerk 140 kilos. That was in the Junior Worlds 2 years ago when she totaled 241. At the moment, she's on 221.
Dalalian is too far down after the snatch. She only snatched 95 kilos. The bronze medal is at 108. So if she is going to come out for another attempt, it will be to try and get something shiny on the clean and jerk.
Yeah, well, this is the woman who was in the bronze medal position at the halfway stage, Maliki Gunel. As you rightly said, Dalalian, 95 kilos, so 13 kilos behind this woman, who is looking to pick up 130 kilos. That's what she posted. That's what she's attempting. So the total is secure. She goes into the overall lead with 238 kilos. Into the lead, obviously, in the clean and jerk as well.
Yeah, aggressive clean. Lands and stands straight up. Drifts forwards as she dips, but it's okay. Bar is at arm's length.
Interestingly, Lysenko, Mikhaila, she posted 135 for her opener. She's dropped that to 131.
Yeah, like she did on the snatches, she's bringing her weights down to try and secure the medals first. So I understand the logic in that, and I guess her and her team will be looking at the weights that Emily Campbell has posted, a 145 as an opener. So she's playing it safe here, trying to secure the medals on the clean and jerk first. And just an update, Dalalian, representing Armenia, took the 126. She's decided to call it a day there. Clearly the quad strain or whatever the problem is with her leg is causing her too many issues.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's just come up on the computer screen, and now Lysenko 131 for her opener. Well, a bit skew with the way she took the bar off the platform.
Yeah, that's right. She's, I don't know, that some physiological issue she's got going on there, maybe an injury or an old injury, but there's definitely an imbalance as she comes off the platform. That's just her way of lifting. The rules still apply. The bar must go to arm's length and stay there. I'd say there's a bit of oscillation on the bar, but a power jerk made it look very easy.
She was fifth in the World Championships 2 years ago. 286 kilos was her total. Her running total at the moment, 247. That just gives you a measure of the fact that she's not the lifter she was in Pattaya in Thailand, but
a bit short on the drive. Still managed to get the bar to arm's length. Sorry, this is...
Yeah, this is the lifter who's retired.
Yeah, sorry, I was just... Talk about confusing me.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, slightly out of context, but never mind. And Maliki Gunel now. Now, at this moment, she's 9 kilos behind Lysenko. This would take her to 243. She'd still be 4 kilos behind at that stage. But, of course, this would put her into the lead in the clean and jerk. So if there is a weakness in Lysenko, Gunel maybe trying to exploit it. Well, that would have equaled her personal best in the clean and jerk. One more attempt to come.
Yeah, that's proved costly in terms of her ambitions to maybe go for a silver medal. This is now very much a personal battle, her versus the bar. I'm guessing she's going to have the same weight again. Dips, doesn't really drive, doesn't get enough height on the bar, and that's proved costly.
She'll come and lift again, and then it'll be down to Lysenko, who's posted 140 for her next attempt, and Campbell still at 145 for her opener. It's funny, isn't it? We know how good Campbell is, but I still feel nervous for her.
I'm not going to lie, I'm sat here on the edge of my chair. Yeah. And it's just amazing to see, you know, it's been so long since we've had champions on the European platform. It really has, and it's you know, in hopefully, I don't want to speak too soon or tempt fate, but you know, we've had one European champion already from Great Britain this championships. We've had one silver medalist, and now Emily Campbell has an opportunity to be right up there.
Yeah, and you know, let's put Zoe in perspective. I mean, you know, it wasn't her best day, but you know, she can be going to Tokyo.
Yeah, I think we could well have 4 girls, hopefully, going to Tokyo. Wouldn't that be just incredible? And not only that, qualified outright, that would be outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, it would be literally the best ever. Somebody will look in the record books and tell me I'm wrong, but they're going to have to go back a heck of a long way. But we haven't got to that yet. So Gunil, let's hope she can pick this up. She did so in those Islamic Solidarity Championships last year. Okay, big effort now. In control, and you can see the delight there.
That was a fantastic effort. Missed the second one. Border A game to that third and final attempt. Isn't that lovely to see that kind of reaction at the end? Drops the chest big time, manages to correct, stands strong. And here the jerk let her down previously, but this time gives it everything, gets the body underneath the bar. Superb lifting.
Yeah, and the really good thing about it is that because she got 108 in the snatch, she's ended up with a total of 243, and that is a personal best total.
Well, thoroughly deserved. This is a big platform to do it on.
Yeah, well done.
She's definitely happy.
So Lysenko, well, she put 140. She's come down to 136. She's in the silver medal position in the clean and jerk. Wants to get into clean and jerk gold. Takes her to 252, so she leads in the clean and jerk. She leans overall, and well, you know where we are now.
Yeah, she still has 1 attempt remaining. I'm interested to see now whether she goes for the 140-ish kind of mark. I somehow doubt it. I think she's probably going to go big on her third attempt in the hope of rattling Emily Campbell. No, she declined her third, decided she cannot contend with Emily, and she's content with a silver medal.
Yeah, but Emily has got to get a score on the board. So at this moment in time, Anastasia Lysenko, 3 times European silver medalist, leads the over 87 kilo championship of Europe. 5 out of 5, but now Emily.
Yeah, you just wondered if this has hampered Emily's preparation. Now, there's 3 lifters there, or 3 lifts that have been scratched through, which means her warm-up would have had to have been sped up a little. Doesn't need 145, only needs 137 to go into the lead, but she's sticking to her guns. Let's see what she can do. Come on, Emily.
Well, everything she does is heading towards British records, isn't it? The 122 in the snatch, That was a British record. Dave Sawyer in the background, and 1:45. So this for the Championship of Europe.
Settle. Drive through your bar. Tight.
The meteoric rise continues, Michaela.
Very, very impressed with what I'm seeing here. She looks comfortable. 1:45. That was easy. Champion of Europe in the women's supers. Fantastic lifting from Emily. Let's see now how far she can go. Nobody else is left in this competition. She's now just got to focus on recovering, and how far is she going to push that bar. This was mightily impressive.
So Lysenko is now a European silver medalist for a 4th time, but Emily Campbell at the age of 26, from bronze 2 years ago to gold. She has 2 more attempts. The coaches will manage this, and I'm chuffed to bits for her. Congratulations to British women's weightlifting, because that is 3 gold medals, and that takes Great Britain's gold medal haul up to 5. That unofficially will take us up into 6th place in the medal table, where 20 countries have won medals and Great Britain 6th. I cannot remember that.
No, this is an unbelievable championship. I'm just so proud of these girls. They've been working hard in very difficult circumstances, and it bodes well for the summer ahead as well. Now they're playing a cat and mouse game here, just with the clock. Stuart's changing the weight a couple of times. They've now moved it to 150. They've used the allowance of changing weights just to run the clock a little and to pause the clock every time a loader goes onto the platform. So this is intelligent calls by the coaches to try and give Emily every chance of recovering as best she can. Emily definitely looks in the zone, doesn't she?
Absolutely. But Michaela, you're a coach these days, aren't you? And you know, put me in the position that Dave Sawyer and Stu Martin and Andy Keller are now, to have been at these championships and had these women, Sarah Davis, Zoe Smith, to a lesser extent, but nonetheless, Zoe Smith, Sarah Davis and Emily Musket all delivering, and now Emily Campbell. I mean, for the coaches, this is so special as well.
Oh, it's a huge achievement, and let's not forget the coaches back home. Cyril Martin right now, he's sat in his front room watching this on TV, and he's more nervous than anybody right now. But you know, it really is a special moment for British coaches as well.
Does the Atlas Gym open tomorrow in England? I guess it might. I guess it can.
They're not allowed to party though.
So Emily Campbell coming out for a 5-kilo increase to take her to 272 kilos. That would be a new total best for her.
Steady. Just up. Drive through your bar now.
Adjusts.
Tight.
Time of her life.
Absolutely wonderful. Emily Campbell is totally in control of this competition. That's 5 out of 6 successful lifts. The next one, I'm pretty sure, is going to be an attempt at a new British record, possibly a new Commonwealth record. Great extension, hits her a little hard here, drops the chest, that stagger forwards, but she manages to recover well. So good in the jerk phase. Really explodes with the legs. She's listening to Dave Sawyer, uses the legs, catapults the bar to arm's length. Well done, Emily. 1 to go.
And I tell you what, not a lot of people are going to be able to go to Tokyo. It'll be a television Olympic Games. But if we have control, the opportunity maybe to go and see this woman in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2022 and become Commonwealth Games champion, that would be special, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. I mean, I don't know how many years Zoe's got left in the sport. I know Emily Musket is looking to potentially retire this year. Sarah Davis almost certainly will be at the next Commonwealth Games. So there's 2 lifters that I would say are ones to watch out for sure.
Yeah, but what you're watching is really special. You're looking at a lifter at the top of her game, and they've gone to 154, which would be a British record. 154, is that a Commonwealth Games record for clean and jerk?
I believe the clean and jerk record is 154, so this would equal Commonwealth Games record. Sorry, Commonwealth record. There is a difference. Commonwealth record and Commonwealth Games record. Commonwealth Games record are the records that are set at those specific championships. Totally in the zone, totally in control, not just of herself, but the rest of this field as well.
Can she complete a perfect afternoon in Russia?
Well, we've had 6 out of 6 lifts from only one other competitor from Turkey in these championships. Sorry, in this competition, in this category. So this really will be something. Didn't respond to the rest of the competition, didn't lower her starting weight because she believed in her ability.
So 154. Now, make no mistake, Mikhaili, you know how big a challenge this is.
Oh, this is massive. I don't think we've had any British female lifter hit this kind of number ever.
No, but personally for Emily, a new personal best. So far, so good. But this ain't easy. This is tough. Needs to get a good clean.
This is the one she's come for.
Right.
Much better clean.
Here we go. Come on, stand there, wonderful. Oh, Emily Campbell, you have delivered.
Well, these pictures speak for themselves. Emily Campbell, huge congratulations from everybody watching, I'm sure. That is a truly world-class performance. 6 out of 6, personal best all the way through. British records all the way through. Absolutely outstanding. Just shows, you know, even knee surgery just 10 months ago, the rehab has gone well, the preparation has gone well. Let's wish her every best building up to Tokyo later this summer.
My congratulations to Cyril, to the coaches, to this lady, and I don't know what airline they're flying back on, but I'll tell you what, we ought to get a message to say, for goodness sake, put her in first class.
Come on, Callard, give her more than well done. Well done, isn't it? That was awesome.
But that's the way he is. Come on, you know that.
Andy Callard, a truly incredible coach himself. He's had great success from a coaching background as well.
Great Britain, thanks to Sarah Davis, to Emily Musket, and now to Emily Campbell. 5 golds, 4 silvers, 6th place in the medal table. To all of the whole of the British women's squad, congratulations. And also, you know, to those back home, to Ashley Metcalf, the CEO, and all the staff at British Weightlifting. I hope you've richly enjoyed what you've seen. Here you can see Emily Campbell with 3 great clean and jerks, new records, 6 out of 6. And the British, who lost all their funding after the Rio Olympics, I hope that this will encourage UK sport to see the future of British weightlifting. It's fair to say, Mikhaila, that the men are a long way off the performances of the women, but if we can go strongly into the identification of new male talent, maybe one day they can produce these sort of results. How exciting is this?
This is incredible, and I really hope that these girls get some funding back. I mean, it's a crazy system where you've actually got to produce results before the funding is there. What about to get there? It was the same when I was a lifter. I had to achieve the results before, but you know, they're doing what's being asked of them, and that's all that they can do. They're doing it in spite of the system, not because of it. But really, come on, there's got to be some funding, some support for a sport that is clearly developing in the right way.
Absolutely. And they're absolutely in command. A new personal best, British records, 276 kilos. Good on you, Emily Campbell. And of course, what I really enjoyed, and I'm sure you appreciate it, Michaela, is not only the fact that she's strong enough to lift the weights, it's the technical ability that she's shown in achieving those weights.
And I'm going to put this out there now. I nominate Cyril Martin for Coach of the Year back in Britain. I think he's done a superb job. Most successful European Championships ever, and he coaches both Emily and Sarah, and their results have just been spectacular. And Cyril is a great technical coach as well. I've worked with him for many years. We've been involved in programming. We've just released a course together, and I'm really, really proud of Cyril, and I know that he's going to be tremendously happy and satisfied with these results. Both of his lifters 6 out of 6 as well.
Yeah, it's a remarkable achievement.
And if you'd have said that Britain would have 4 girls going to the Olympic Games, I think we would have laughed a few years ago. This is potentially an incredible summer ahead.
And can you imagine, this will be the happiest journey home for these lifters. Just enjoy these highlights. Well, to get ready for the medal ceremony, Emily Campbell, an outstanding champion, of course, but to also pass on congrats to Anastasia Lysenko. Obviously not the force of previous years, but 252, she takes all the silver medals. Melike Gunnar gets 3 bronze medals for Turkey in the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the overall. And those 3 women were the real achievers. But Emily Campbell, I have to say, in a division of her own today.
A division of her own, absolutely. There's no denying that. She was the truly outstanding lifter in this category. Nobody could even come close to her today. And I'm just so excited to see how she fares at the Olympic Games later this summer.
And there you are, Great Britain up into 6th place. Only a bronze medal behind Georgia. I don't think we can do anything about that because the Olympic world and multi-European champion goes in the men's super heavyweights. But look at that, 20 countries. And look at that, countries that we don't often see getting medals. Belgium, there should be another one, Norway in there as well. Solfrid from yesterday, who did a brilliant job in the clean and jerk, getting the medal in the clean and jerk for Norway. Their women have had a good championships as well. Well, Emily is rightly beside herself. You know, it's one thing, we've talked about this, Michaela, we've dreamt about this for her for days and days and days, but it's not until you cross the line and not until you get the weights and you secure the victory And she's done that in style today.
David, in style, indeed. I mean, she literally did not need a 145 opener. She needed, you know, 137 or something. And she just said, no, I'm sticking to my guns. I've come here to show what I can do, and I'm not going to be pressurized into lowering my starting weight. That's the kind of self-belief that she had coming into this championships, and that is the sign of a real champion.
Honorary Vice President of Russian Weightlifting Federation, Mr. Yuri Sandalov.
Юрий Сандамов, почетный президент Федерации тяжелой атлетики России.
Well, these are the gentlemen who will, after the medals have given out, have the celebratory photograph. It's a bit disappointing we haven't got a senior British president or official there, but Britain were very careful about the way they managed the team. It wasn't easy to get the Brits to Moscow, and let's hope they all come back safe and well. So the overall bronze medal to Maliki Gunal of Turkey. In 2019, she was the European under-23 champion. She finished 5th in the seniors. Today, she gets the senior bronze. Anastasia Lysenko, well, she must be thinking, will I actually ever become European champion? This her 4th time with an overall silver medal around her neck. But even she will know and admit that she's been outlifted, outperformed, outclassed, as is everybody in this Women's Super Heavyweight Championship of Europe. Emily Campbell to collect the first and the most important gold medal, the overall championship, and the discipline medals to follow. But more immediately than that, the national anthem to recognize Emily Campbell's achievement. Champion of Europe for 2021.
В честь чемпионки играет гимн Великобритании.
Well, to everybody back home, if you haven't raised a glass, this is the moment to do it. And to Cyril, congratulations and cheers. Well done. So, Michaela, now the discipline medals.
And now, victory ceremony snatch.
Again, what do you say to this? You know, just head and shoulders above the rest. So congratulations to all of the lifters here today. This was a really special moment for everybody back home watching.
Three women have really taken this class. Maliki Gunal in picture there, Anastasia Lysenko, who's about to get her silver medal for the snatch. And whilst we see these medals being awarded, let's look ahead to our final competition of the championship, which is about 75 minutes away. And it is a world-class competition. It is the Super Heavyweight Championship of Europe, but with the Olympic and 4 times world and 4 times European champion Lasha Talakhadze of Georgia, all 168 kilos of him. But it is a very, very strong world-class field. And if you've enjoyed this, well, have a bit of lunch come back and join us, 2 o'clock for all of you in the United Kingdom, to see whether Lasher will do what he has done on so many occasions, attempt a world record. To whet your appetite, 146 kilos is his snatch record. 100, oh no, what am I talking about? Absolute rubbish. Got
maybe
over
200 and something.
No, yeah, absolutely ridiculous. 220 in the snatch, 264 in the clean and jerk, 484 kilos the total, set in Pattaya at the last World Championships in 2019. Will he treat us to a world record attempt? We hope so.
Анастасия Лысенко, 136 килограммов, Украина.
And next time the best gold medalist is Emily Campbell, Great Britain.
So for Emily Campbell, perhaps the only thing that's disappointing is that we don't have an audience to applaud and admire what she's done. But there they are, 3 precious gold medals. The best day of her lifting life. And